Yes, people, welcome to another episode of 3Smoke, 3Smoke, 3Smoke. I am your host, Millie Wayne, realest host in the country right about now. I'm here with Spoon, the Prime Minister, Swiss Army Knife Mo. You know what I'm saying? Big up Preach in the background. Today we got a legend in the building, you know what I'm saying? UK rap legend, Bromtown legend in the building, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let me big up my man Malik in the building.
Yes, well gone, my people. You good though?
Yeah, of course, man. I'm all good. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. It's early.
How's life?
Life, I cannot complain at the moment, you know. I cannot complain. Good place of clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're going to introduce you to a new kind of audience, really. I know about you. There's this new kind of rap fans that don't really know about you and know the significance of you in this whole game. So, what's your background origin?
My background origin, born in Birmingham, from Jamaican parents. Mm-hmm. Grew up in the 80s in Birmingham. You know what I mean? Through all the madness. In the 80s it was... I was a normal kid though at school. Kid at school type of thing.
So
you know what I mean?
How was it growing up in Brum?
Growing up in Brum, from I come outside, in my house, I grew up in a big family. My mum had me mad young, like 14. So I lived with in my grandma's house with all my uncles. My granddad died early.
Okay.
So just my grandma and 8, early 20s uncles and aunties.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
did you have any siblings, like brothers and sisters?
Not till like 9 years later. So for me, I was growing up in a house with just my older cousin and not much kids, just uncles. So even when I went to school, I didn't know anything that the kids knew. All the kids' programs and all that. I didn't know nothing about it. I only watched adult programs from a child.
So you was growing up quick because you're learning from your uncles and stuff in the house.
So my childhood programs were the programs that my uncles were watching.
And what was that?
V.
Yes.
Like when I go to school, they're like, Neighbours, and they'll talk about cartoons and all that. And I'm like, I'm into V and Prisoner Cell Block H. You know what I'm saying?
That was coming on late though, Prisoner Cell Block H. Yeah. He got you into that.
I think my aunties and my mum used to watch it.
Yeah, because my mum used to watch that as well. So that's why I asked who got you into that.
So I was living in a house run by people in their early 20s because my granddad died and just my grandma and lots of kids. So culturally, my uncle was in a reggae band and he was on the radio since he was 16. And he was in different bands. So there's musical instruments in my house in the attic, and I'll come from school and I'll hear a band playing. Okay. So he could be he was in a rock band. He had his own reggae band. Another uncle had a band. And a lot of my family collected music. So
your musical influences growing up was like Jamaican music? Yeah,
at first, but from I got a cousin 4 years older than me, and he got into hip hop from the 80s. So from I was like 6 years old or something like that, 7. He got a new Walkman, a Walkman. That just shows what time it was. Yeah. He got a new Walkman for his birthday or something like that, and then he gave me his old one, the taped up headphones and that. Yeah. And I had access to any so I can just go in any room of the house and just pick an album. So all the old NWAs and all that, like I know back word for word. From 6 years old, I had headphones on, like listening to hip hop.
So what was that like? The first kind of group you was listening to, NWA?
I think.
Which group left a mark on you?
Now NWA was the biggest mark because I actually remember. I got a good memory of a child, and I remember my cousin calling me in the back room, going, "Come, put this on," and then playing Straight Outta Compton, the song.
How did that make you feel, that song there? What effect did it have?
I had goosebumps because they were swearing, they were rapping so hard, and I knew, like, just me growing up, being into reggae music, and I just knew that I just knew that this was I knew hip hop before that from songs, but from I heard like the hard shit.
Have you gone back and played that song like today?
Yeah. We listened to some 80s shit on the way here.
Yeah, is it the same kind of effects?
Yeah,
Does it have?
fully. Yeah. I get the same kind of feelings.
Okay, so what kind of school? What school did you go to in Brum?
I went to a school called Bearwood School. A good school. Nothing too dangerous.
How was you in school? Like primary? What kind of child was you?
Popular. Not so much a class clown, but popular with it. I was intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I was into movies from a kid. So I was into art from a kid, really.
Yeah. So what did you want to be from a kid? When you was a kid, what did you want to be?
I didn't know what I wanted to be
at all,
and that was a vulnerability.
Why'd you say that?
Because from I got to a certain age and went outside, you don't know what you want to be. Man then would give you a job. You know what I'm saying? So that's to any young person. You don't know what you want to do, and you're just about.
Yeah. So when you hit secondary school, what was it for you?
That's when I went to a school and it was more of a white school then. Yeah. So I was called in school and there was me, Spoonhead, and
there's a guy called Spoonhead, yeah?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Man, them who's seen this know. So me, Spoonhead, and Ruben, and then us three, we were kind of donning up the school then, and then you kind of start. Yeah, certain things kind of started from there when us three got together and started to not bully you, so it was never a bully, but you know what I mean, just collecting little change and little shit like that.
Yeah, the stuff what goes on
yeah,
masculine kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
So what made you even want to be a rapper? What made you start trying it out?
I think because my musical family, and I was making music from 13 years old. So we had a thing called a 4-track. Yeah, so there's drums, guitar, but there was a 4-track that's it's basically a tape player with 2 different tape players. It's got 4 channels and it's got a record player on top. Yeah. So what I done, there's a song called Mr. Brown by Bob Marley that's got 8 bars of just no music.
No music, just the rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played the record, got the tape, record, pause, and done that. And made 2 minutes of beat, and then I wrote my first rap, and then recorded it through the soundtrack, through the 4-track myself.
Who did you spit your first rap to?
My uncle and my cousin. That was the first person.
What did they say?
They were like, yeah. And then, I went from there. My cousin was in a group called Criminal Damage, and in Birmingham back in the day, he wasn't just a hip hop group. He was a sound as well. So it you was a sound as well. So you play clubs as a sound and not just a hip hop crew. So that's how it kind of started off in Brum. So my cousin was.
So what do you mean though? Like the DJ would play music and then you lot would come and rap after?
Yeah, well this is before my time still. But I went to one dance. Yeah, my first dance I went to. It was Criminal Damage versus a group called Ricochet. This is before Birmingham hip hop, anything like that. Nobody's even making music this time, recording tracks and putting them out. There's nothing to do with that.
Nothing's going on, yeah.
All it is people spitting and their reputations, and you'd have to go to a dance to hear their bars. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of how it started. But I'm mad young. I'm probably 12 at this point.
So, what made you lot want to form Morris Delta 7? And how did it form?
Well, I got to about 17, 16 now. I've met Cypher.
Big up Cypher.
Yeah, big up Cypher, big up Jawar.
Big them all up, man, yeah.
I met Cypher and Cypher already released the song, like the vinyl. And Cypher was about, you know what I mean? People knew who Cypher was, this big, tall guy. You know what I'm saying? Big, and you know what I mean? Yeah. People didn't mess with Cypher from early. You know what I'm saying? From early. So Cypher just stood out like that. we talked, we talked, and we was on the same wavelength because I was very. I grew up in a house that I knew Mandela was in jail. I knew about like I was in tune with the black struggle, whatever was going on around the world.
Black culture.
Whether it's Caribbean, Americas, whether it's going on in Africa, whether it's going on here.
And where did that come from in your household? The uncles, your mum?
Yeah, my uncles and that. So I got an uncle that probably told me about every conspiracy theory from a child going upwards, you know what I'm saying?
Until now.
Yeah. So I had that kind of element in the house. Like reggae music was popular in the house and discussions and reasonings were happening a lot in the house. But I'm too young for all of this, but I'm seeping it in.
Soaking it up.
I'm sitting in the room hearing conversations, you know what I'm saying? So it's all of that kind of built up my personality and the things that I care for. So by the time I met Saif, we had a similar, we came from a similar vein where black identity, and because we knew that there was a lack of black identity in the UK.
Because Cypher seems like he reads a lot.
Yeah,
He seems very knowledgeable. Like he's very hip
from
to that.
early.
Yeah,
from
you're saying from early, yeah?
Yeah. From before, from when I met him, he was already kind of getting knowledge, reading lots of books, looking at different, just different ways of thinking and whatnot. So, So we started a group called Lyric Born Click at first, and there was about 10 of us and different artists, just like a crew. And then Jawar came up with the name MD7, Moorish Delta 7. Moorish because, so we was reading about just different tribes of black people.
So the Moorish comes from the Moors, yeah?
Yeah, so it was like, okay, the Moors and stuff. And it was like, we didn't realise that they came to Europe and they brought civilization. When it comes to, when I say civilization, I mean instruments, you know what I'm saying? Set up baths for people to wash their skin and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they actually, and they came to Europe with with their fly garms, music, with, you know what I mean, with their swag and their knowledge. So we like,
because like what you're saying, a lot of people don't know. Like these people, that's why it was called like a public bath, the swimming pool, because they all used to go in there and bath on like certain days. So someone had to have brought how to bath and wash yourself, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it was in England. That's how they was living in these sort of places.
So they came to like Europe, especially Spain, and they had a lot of influence. I mean, so for us it was, so we took the Moorish from them. The Delta means fertile land. It's something that you can grow on, or something that you can, you know what I mean, make something out of. And 7 is a divine number. So we just put those together. And we kind of saw it as, we were in the UK and we're going to bring our swag, our culture, our fashion and all that to the scene, which is fertile. We looked at the scene as fertile land because nobody was really bossing in the UK.
No, nobody wasn't, no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you're spot on, definitely, man. So what was it like in the first recording session together?
Well, first there was a compilation called Black Samurai that this guy named Tunji from Leeds came and put different artists that he liked and paid for studio and kind of made people gel together and work, and that kind of helped build my style. So I'll be doing raps and I've done certain type of tunes, certain type of lyrics, and just the response from it made me know that this is the way I want to go.
Because for me, like, you're the first kind of like Birmingham rapper that I've heard that's rapped in a Birmingham accent and it sounds cool and dope. And plus you use the Birmingham dialect.
Yeah.
You're not trying to, you wasn't using words from like America. Maybe we all did certain words from America, but you rapped how, if I go to Birmingham and I speak to somebody, that's how you rap. So I always respected that about you as well.
Respect.
And
But when I first come out, I had a bit of an American accent.
I never heard you then.
Yeah.
I never heard
but that's
you,
before tunes that really came out, before MD7 came. So that was more Lyric Born Click times. But by the time we came out as MD7,
You say you just polished up and knew it was just a Birmingham thing.
Yeah. And we went to America as well before that. And that was a big thing for us. We linked AZ, we stayed in Gonny Road in the Bronx. It was a bit mad as well. Like the Crips was forming at the time. But
When's this? The 90s?
Yeah, this was 1999. Like I
Okay.
saw the Twin Towers standing. Yeah. So going over there, just rapping with man and just mingling in and just we wake up in the morning, go to one record label, go to this person, visit this person, and just try to make links. And I have to big up Cypher because we didn't have the internet this time. We didn't have the internet then. So I'm thinking to myself, all them links that he made, that he already had before we went there, he must have been looking on magazines and the back of records, looking at the phone numbers and phoning them
Calling, yeah, and books with numbers in it and doing it. So he was grinding from early.
Yeah,
bro,
so when I think about that, because remember, I was the younger one in the group.
Was you the youngest?
I wasn't the youngest. Jay's the youngest.
Okay.
But Cypher was controlling stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not like how RZA was with the Woo. He was like that. So I have to even give him more props, knowing that we went out to States and we made beer links, gone here and there, and all of that was done before the internet and things like that. So to even contact these people must have been an effort. So, but we saw hip hop moving. We saw how I don't know, just certain phrases from songs people say in their daily life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, example, like, I don't know, when Nas first came out, I can imagine people actually said, what's in that glass? Like, it ain't hard to tell. Like, I can imagine people just talk, like, I heard hip hop moving and living. So I was like, when we came back, it kind of put the battery in our back to, like, go harder and kind of show Brom. So I was like, yeah, we need to transport our culture. So if I can go to Queens and I feel like I've been there before I even been there, because I've listened to music from here, we need to do the same from Birmingham.
Definitely, I've been one that's always said that too. That's definitely what we need to do, is like bring our culture to them, like they brought their culture to us. Definitely, yeah.
Totally.
Because the first time I saw you lot, so like, even though that tune, what was it called again? Was it the one you had on Channel U?
Silence Screams or Art of Survival?
No, the Art of the Survival, all of you together.
Yeah.
So I would have seen you perform that before I even seen like that video come out, because I came to Brom with the Dynasty.
Okay.
And there was like about 50 of you were there, or about 30, 50. Like the numbers were big. And then you lot come and you lot shut it down. I said, right, who's this group? Like, it made me kind of like pay attention. So I was like, yeah, nah, definitely they're going hard. And then I see it come out on like, you know, the channel U's and stuff like that.
It wasn't even channel U's, MTV Base.
It was MTV Base, innit? Yeah, MTV Base. How was the response from that song there? Because it was big to me. That's legendary.
That was massive. That's like...
And that's on the Power and Glory album, yeah?
So you have to look at it like... Do you know like how somebody drops a tune now? I don't know. It's hard to compare it. But you know, like how, I don't know, Dave had that tune with Stormzy, Jordan 4s, or... I can't even equate it to it. I can't just pick a tune to equate it to. I wouldn't say it was a pow, you know what I'm saying, because those are just massive. But it was a song that was like... It was the top tune when it come.
Definitely, and I don't think that the infrastructure wasn't even there to make it even a pow at the time. If it was, then it would have been a pow.
That's
because
what I'm
it was
saying.
that big.
Yeah, but the infrastructure wasn't there. There was only MTV Base and Westwood
Which
show.
is a big thing.
Yeah,
MTV.
but we only had. This wasn't even showing like all UK videos. We was blending in. We was mixed in with the American videos.
Yeah, that's how it was. Yeah. If a UK artist got to slip in, it's gonna be that way back then. So that's a major thing you not even done there. You know what I'm saying? So how did that album do?
Oh, the album done well. Like, it was just a big time. It was just a big time for us. And the main reason why the album done well, we put culture into it in the way of, there's a lot of samples in there. There's interludes, and it wasn't just tracks.
Who was making the beats?
Cypher, Urban, and Baby J. Big up Urban Monk and big up Baby J. They were like instrumental in helping forming the sound. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's dope. Definitely. When you lot come, it's like you said, it's Birmingham's in the house, isn't it?
Yeah.
So definitely, like, How did Birmingham take to you guys?
Yeah, all good. You know what I'm saying?
Did they see you like you did, like you're the legend you are? Because who else was doing it? What other rappers was about?
There was a group called MSI who came before us.
Okay.
And like they started after, there was a guy named Tactic and a guy named H, and they started after like best rapper in Brum type title. You know what I'm saying? They were the first to start that kind of thing, and like they were on it. The only problem is they were early before us. A lot of their stuff was you had to hear live and things like that. It wasn't so much
mixtapes and records and stuff.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things was just live back then. Like you said, you saw us perform before you heard the tune or saw the video.
Yeah.
So there's the only reason why MSI like probably mentioned as much is because the time that they came earlier when it was just rhyming between man and man more than like record for record. Yeah, but they were hard still.
Yeah. So MSI, and they've never had nothing out on the YouTube. No, nothing.
There should be stuff on the YouTube. There's
Where were they from? The same part of Brum you guys were from?
No. They're from different parts of Brum still. Those are big crew. Yeah. But yeah, big up MSI. Yeah, up, they did their thing. If you need to check them out, look at Northernly Winds featuring Rodney P. That should be on YouTube, produced by Baby J.
So, shows, tours, did you do any of that with the Power and Glory album?
Yeah, we toured. We done our own tours actually. We put on our own shows. So we'll hire Westwood. We'll have, if it's a big dance, because we'll have people who's into grime, people who's into like garage and that come to our shit, because it was more the man them thing than just the hip hop thing. And so like what crew was Max O'Dean again?
Pay As You Go, I think.
Yeah, Pay As You Go.
Yeah, Pay As You Go.
Yeah. So we used to we booked Pay As You Go a couple of times.
Yeah.
We done a tour with Fire Crew.
So what you do, grime?
No more Fire Crew, yeah.
Yeah, so you did the grime with the rap from then.
Yeah, because grime was coming out and he's doing well, and a lot of people was into both. So when we do a dance, there's a couple of times we done just the hip hop dance that was us, SAS, COV was on the bill. Who else was on the bill? Remember that big dance we done in Milton Keynes? Mike GLC. We'll bring Mike GLC was on will come on a lot of our tours, and we've done a few things, collaborations where. So you
was actually trying to put on things and bring a scene together.
Yeah. Especially with like, for me, especially Birmingham grime. The way I rap and the way Birmingham grime artists MC. To me, it's just different tempos. There's different tempos, but when it comes to punchlines, aggressive bars, thought-provoking bars and certain stuff, there's certain artists, the Vaders and whatnot, they do a similar thing that I do, because we're from a similar place. We just rap it, one's 140 and one's just different tempos. And there's certain things different. Of course, there's certain things different, but some of the grime artists, especially, had the same kind of thought pattern with the way that we'll rhyme. So I never really saw a massive separation. We use the same studios. We use some of the same producers. You know what I mean? We had the same dances. You know what I mean? At that time, we mashing the same gal. So like, we might as well start to link.
So how did London take to you with that first album? And what was the scene like back then in general anyway?
London was a little different still. So it was like, the streets was just coming up. Like, London street rappers weren't really noticed.
You don't think there would have been any at the time?
There was certain man.
He was
I remember there was a youth that got murdered named Kid Cole.
Hard, yeah.
Yeah. There was certain man.
That would have been a game changer at that time there, because I think he was the only one kind of like speaking that language for the streets. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like,
it was like hip hop before.
Yeah.
But like my man, he was speaking like what was going on in London, like how you lot are representing the Brom.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So he was, so that would have definitely helped the scene. But the one, those street rappers, don't get me wrong, Mike was about, but when we first come, Mike wasn't there. When we first come,
yeah, no, he wasn't about when you lot first come about. No,
so it was more like, but it was more street man, like I don't know, like a Big P and Scheme.
Yes, Big P and Scheme. Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that
these are the names I kind of remember from that generation: Skinny Man, Big P and Scheme, COV, yourself, 57th Dynasty. I think you had the Poisonous Poets.
Yeah.
MCD. Who else, man? Who else? I remember them. The ones what you're saying, like the SAS and the mic, they wasn't there at that time. Not when you lot first come about. No way on earth. Yeah.
So it's like, but those street man involved. But it's just that the way that they'll say certain things, but it wasn't just directed. So the same way in America, there was like Schoolie D and Ice-T and all that, and they touched on this gangster thing with like 6 in the morning. Started it, and then Ice Cube. Who was doing that then? That what you're talking about for the like, UK version. So there was I don't know who.
There was no one talking that talk there.
So I don't know what's before Silent Screams as a full song, fully on this thing.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that one day later. That's one about things.
You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm the first to chat this and that, but I don't know what was before that. And that song was done like 2 years before it even come out.
Yeah, it's a big song, man. But back to MD7, did you have another album after that one, The Power
Yeah,
of
we
Glory?
done Life in the City, and we done a mixtape. It was an album called the Underworld album.
Okay, and how did that one do?
They all did well, especially the first two, and the second one. I mean, the third one, the Life in the City. Yeah, we had a big tune from there, Levels.
Did you have any deals from labels, or was it always independent?
I've never spoke about this. You know, I don't even think you've ever heard about this. There was a guy. I can't even. I'm not even gonna say his name. Yeah, but a man who brought Death Row's catalogue, started a label in the UK, and he was he signed Mark Morrison at the time.
Okay.
So we was going to this label, You know anything about this, Breach? So we was going to a label, that were basically like Death Row, that kind of bought Death Row's catalogue, and they were signing us, Mark Morrison, and I think they was looking at somebody else. Yeah. And the deal was virtually like, what's your bank details and type of thing. Yeah. And then something happened and it didn't work. And there was other deals that was offered, and we like, we didn't think it was worth it because like the numbers wise,
didn't make sense.
Didn't make sense. But looking back, it could have worked for us. Like you know what I mean?
What's your best performance in the group?
The best performance in the group? Yeah. A song or live?
Show that you've done live.
My best performance in the group.
That you've had, like you've gone to a show. What's your best show?
I think one of our best shows was Immortal Technique in London. It was a packed show. Ram. Poisonous Poet. It was us, Poisonous Poets, Immortal Technique, and I don't know if there was Kalashnikov or Skinny Man or somebody like that in there, but...
Yeah, that's who it was about as well, but a little bit after Kalashnikov. Yeah, definitely. Did you do the Subterranean and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we done that a few times.
Yeah, because I would have seen you there as well. So I
remember I met you at a... we won an award for Best UK... Best New UK Hip Hop Group. Yeah. And there was an awards. Yeah. There was the first award show in the UK I've ever been to. It It was like a UK hip hop award show, and that's where I met you there.
I was at the South Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. That's it. I think it was a Rockefeller kind of thing and all that stuff there. Yeah, Chaz was there as well.
All I know is,
Yeah.
all I know. I felt you. I kind of felt your energy and your man's energy before I even saw you, man.
Yeah.
All I know is just like I felt.
Yeah. Now
I turned and I seen like and it just was like that's them SMS man.
Yeah. No, I think that's the day. If we were talking about that event, that's when there was too much of us because we linked up with PDC and then we came there. So there was about at least 50 of us. Definitely.
Yeah. But and it's like, see, I remember you looked at me and a few months like, that's that boy from Brum. And then we dapped it up and then
I've got major respect for you. Like most of that whole generation, I just respect, man, because things wasn't even going on. So even to have the drive just to want to put out music and help build this scene what it is today, you lot are like the seeds or the bricks at the bottom. That's what you lot are, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
But I'm glad we done everything that we done. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that foundation. Like I was down here the other day at Millions' his last show in East. He was doing last show of his tour. Yeah,
what's that? The Brum rapper Millions.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that. What do you think of all the Brum rappers now and how the scene is now in Brum? Like the respect that the artists are getting from Brum and even throughout the whole Midlands and up north.
It's
country,
getting
wherever.
better, but it's not near where
you think it should be.
Yeah,
why is that?
Because you can you're better off being a shit rapper from London than a shit rapper from anywhere else in the UK. Fact.
Why you say that though?
Because if like I don't know, Storms is my cousin, or I went to college with certain people, and then like I don't have to be that good. I can still kind of get through and have a little career. If you're from somewhere else, you have to be the man.
You say they have to work harder.
Yeah, you have to be have to be the man. Cause
don't you think that's all over though?
Not yet.
In the whole world, like the whole game, it's all over.
Not yet. It's getting there, but not yet. Even America, like, if you think about it, like, there's still cities where you don't know any rappers from.
No, of course, facts.
You get what I mean? Or you get what I mean? So it's like, but it is getting better. There's more artists getting accepted. This and that.
Don't you think YouTube changed that game?
I think it changed the game. It has changed
and
the game.
Spotify and all these sort of things.
But know what would change the game? When UK music bosses properly, then it wouldn't matter because people be like, I'm listening to this guy from the UK and he could be from Sheffield and they'll just be like, yeah, he's a UK guy. And where it is from wouldn't matter from that door's boss. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, it's getting better, but it's still like a 1-2 man from each city. You know what I'm saying?
So what are you saying? Like people
needs to be more than
quick
that.
to listen to a London artist.
No, it's not. No, it's just the scene and how a lot of the scene here is like on word of mouth or what's popular. You get what I'm saying? It's more like what's popular.
So do you think you was respected by your rap peers? And
no,
stuff
I was respected.
And what did you think? What did you do to get that respect?
It was just. The music spoke for itself still.
So that's what anybody has to do, really, don't you think?
But it's the work. It's the work, but what we have to do... Because
I know about you, and your penmanship's intact, so...
But we had to travel everywhere. We had to be in London every week. We had to do all of those steps to make this happen, to make that happen. It never happened just off... It could have happened just music alone, because Man in the Streets would have respected it. But... Man in the Streets respecting it and you getting the magazines and the radio spots that you need ain't the same. So us, especially sci-fi, networking and chatting to, meeting people and giving people vinyl and going to the radio stations and chatting to people. That's the part of it. That's a big part of it. Creating the relationships.
And that's what you lot done. You put in that groundwork and them grassroots from early, so it makes it easier for other artists and for even if we're in the city of London to listen to a rapper from Birmingham, because we've heard that you guys were dope, bro.
Yeah, so that definitely did help. So it's a thing where to make the game better though, there just has to be just more solid relationships between different people in the city because the infrastructure's here. So it's like you could be the best. I could come from whatever city I was born in. If I wasn't from London, I could be sick there. But
you saw what happened to New York though.
Yeah.
So if London's going on like that, another city will take it, bro. Atlanta's had the game for. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Don't get me wrong.
You can't be like that.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, it just needs to be more inclusive. I'm talking about not just Brom and Manchester and Liverpool. Like, you know what I mean? That's but it will definitely get there.
Yeah, I feel you.
And here's the thing as well. I remember at one time, look how New York had it. And New York was like, this is what English people have to remember. Americans didn't accept all Americans at all. Yeah, I've watched documentaries about the South, and I spend time more in the South than New York. And there's man who's told me like, older man's like, back in the day, like, so when I'm talking about how certain man don't respect UK stuff, and it's like, but they're guys who don't know nothing. Like, forget the internet. When you chat to man, like normal man, it's different. Yeah, and people like that, they don't have the knowledge, or it ain't been made cool yet to them because they follow fashion. It's all of those kind of things. And anyway, at one time, them man used to get laughed at, you know. I seen David Banner say he rapped at a thing, and when the actor said, "Where are you from?" he said Mississippi. The whole place laughed at him.
The same thing.
So they had it worse than us.
Of course they did.
They had it worse. So it's a thing where it's like, don't worry, Atlanta ruled the thing now, and they had it worse than us. So it could be 10, 20 years, whatever. There's gonna come a time where it's a different thing.
Me personally, I think it doesn't matter where you're from. It's just as long as you keep it 110. You got a next one like yourself who made the Birmingham accent be cool and sound cool when he's rapping was missed.
100%. 100%.
He didn't come in rapping like he kept it. He's talking that Birmingham language, and that's and he made it sound cool. And these big things are happening for him.
Big up my guy from Liverpool.
Who's that?
All of them actually. Scousematic. Big up my man. What's his name? Just skip my head. You know. Big up A-Star. But like, them man's for really just bringing that accent in and really emphasising it and making it
because
the style.
The accent's dope. It's what you do with it.
Yeah.
It's
not
what you say, it's how you say it.
And from they've made it a thing where it's like, yo, I'm going to emphasise this thing and you're going to love it. You know what I'm saying?
You.
So
anything else is not you.
All the artists, especially the drill and grime guys who are not from London, who sound like Londoners, give it a rest, mate.
Yeah, just keep it real, man. Just be 110%.
Yeah,
that's
man.
all it is.
Because you're gonna get there eventually. All different cities are gonna get their shine eventually. You know what I'm saying?
1,000,000%, definitely. So let's go into some of your solo work though, like Silent Screams. There, that was a big joint, man. How did that come about?
That was just me writing how I felt at the time, and
what's Silent Screams? What's the? It's
just like Silent Screams is like, I got problems. I want to scream about what's going on, and it's a silent scream because I felt that nobody was rapping about this in the UK. So this is what's going on in all the areas, but it's not.
It's not spoken about.
It's not spoken about it's touched on. You know what I'm saying, but it's not fully spoken about.
I'd advise the viewers to go and check that one out there by Malik as well. Silent Screams. It's a big joint. Still.
I wrote that in. I think 1999.
99.
Yeah, when I wrote it, and I think it come out 2000, and it was on the album at 2001. So like it took you 2 years for it to get like fully heard and shit.
Okay, so what did you think of that, like the DVD era and all that when that came about after you lot was putting in like that mad groundwork? Yeah. Like you said, that was the next step. It was cassette tape. I remember you lot had a cassette tape because it was called, I think Ocean done it, UK Volume Untapped or something, and Dark and Cold had one as well.
Yeah, and CDs on like Hip Hop Connection, they'll have CDs on the front. You know what I'm saying? So
So what do you think when the game changed like that?
To
like
DVDs,
Streets
I loved it.
Incarcerated
Yeah,
and all these sort of DVDs what was coming out at the time.
Yeah, big up Big Bad Blue.
Big him up, definitely.
Yeah, like, all of them people who put in the work. Even Blood Brothers DVD from Birmingham.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
But people was, just putting out content. And I don't think people knew what they was doing, but they were setting up Channel U. They're setting up for what it is now. You know what I'm saying?
And what do you think of the game now?
I like the game now. I like that people, the money that these youths can make, the deals that these youths can make.
It's what you was trying to do and trying to set up for yourself, but the game wasn't.
The game wasn't there.
It wasn't
at
there.
the time.
Yeah.
And for me, there's no. To me, there's no regret in that though.
No, you can't because they would be one of them hateful, spiteful. There's none of that. It was one of the seeds. It's like someone planting a beautiful flower and not expecting when the flower grows and gets beautiful, you get mad at it.
Yeah,
what was the point in? Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel you 110%. So what about this? You done a joint with Mark Ronson, Whinehouse remix.
Basically, Mark Ronson, I think he contacted Baby J and he wanted a remix. And he sent him a remix and he said he didn't want no rappers on there and he put me, Preacher from COV, Ruckus from Derby and Alex Blood on there. And he had just done a little 8-bar, sent it off. Next minute I know, that's like getting added to radio, B-list, then it's A-list. Then he put it on the actual single. So it's the Amy Winehouse, it's the original version, then our remix.
Then your remix.
Just those two.
So did you shoot a video to that?
Yeah, and he took us on tour. So we'd done 2 tours. We done one, first like the Mark Ronson tour for his album.
How was that?
That was good. You know Wale from MMG?
Yeah.
So Mark, he was signed to Mark Ronson, so Wale was on every show.
Performing, doing his thing, yeah?
Yeah. He was part of actually, we didn't really get on with him, you know. I'll be real.
Why?
It was just he just felt like, I don't know, he's just like a socially awkward kind of geezer. Yeah. But there's no disrespect or nothing like that. From either side. But it was just went on that tour. Then remember when Jay-Z came over and done like Glastonbury?
Yeah.
And he done the O2 and so we done O2. We done the Wireless that year. And we done a whole Jay-Z Mark Ronson tour. We was on the bill for that with Scotland, the big arenas. That was like the height of, that's like the biggest I've seen.
And were you performing joints like Silent Screams and these sort of joints?
Nah. We was more coming on the set. There'll be, don't get me wrong, there'll be like probably after parties and things like that. And we'll perform, we'll do our own stuff there. But this was like a big set crowd, big live band. Like there's, John Lennon's son is there playing guitar on certain tunes. Like, you know what I mean? It's their set. So it's a thing where we're coming in as guest rappers.
Yeah. So you done something with Kanye and Wiley though, wasn't it?
Well, they were on the tour.
Oh, they was on the same tour. So
when, at the time, Wiley had Rolex.
Oh, Rolex suite.
Rolex, yeah. So, he had that out and he was on the tour with us, so
They must have been working you with that song though, because that was a big song, the Valerie song, isn't it?
Yeah. So touring every night.
Did you actually get to perform with her?
Nah, she didn't. We met her one time, but she didn't. She wasn't touring at the time, issues and stuff. But I don't think it was set up for that anyway.
So you see your rapping name Malik. Did you choose that or is that your birth name?
No, I chose that.
You chose that. How did you get your name?
I chose that from originally through when I was 7 years old. I watched I basically watched the documentary about Malcolm X. I remember the day because I was sick from school and there was a documentary about Malcolm X And when he came to UK and he came to Smethwick, he actually came to the area that I lived. Like, and my uncle lived on that road at the time. He came to a road called Marshall Street. And that was like, I was like 6 or 7. And then like, I was just like mesmerized by him. And then I started to like study Islam, study Nation of Islam, 5% Nation. I started to look at a lot of stuff from teenagers and looking into stuff. And there was a group called Nubians. There was lots of little conscious groups popping up. I'll be going to
The
talks
talks and stuff like that.
I'll be going to different talks, different meetings as like 15, 16-year-old and just getting knowledge. So that's more the birth of my knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying?
So, but why did you choose it as your rap name?
Because I thought, yeah. Now from that was my rap name after that. But then everybody started calling me anyway. So it was that.
Was there a meaning behind it or anything like that?
Well, it was basically in homage of Malcolm X and the meaning of the name.
So you
meaning king.
So you see, as a solo artist, you've had a mixtape, the Rappers mixtape.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was me rapping over a lot of kind of classic beats that I grew up on.
Instrumentals, American instrumentals.
Yeah, that classic beats.
Was something you put out for free?
Yeah, something I put up for free. I put out another one. I think Malik Mania with DJ Ains. That was a lot of the stuff I done in the 2010 times. Working on an EP right now, actually. With a producer called Sonny Jim, who
that's what I was going to ask you, if you was going to be bringing out new music and that.
Yeah. Because I've got I basically got a project in the top that's like a Lost Tapes, and I've got an EP that I'm finishing off.
No, that's good. I can't wait to hear that, man.
But I'm definitely gonna.
When can we expect that?
When can we expect that? It's gonna be next year.
Next year, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good still, man.
But yeah, for me, coming back into music though, for me, I feel that it's needed. I feel that there's a big cultural element missing from the UK.
What do you think that is?
That like, because I'm not just doing music, so I'm putting together like a documentary and a series of documentaries about different elements of UK culture over the times that basically reflect why we're here now. So the same way, I don't know. All right, then I'll judge it off America, yeah? So if I think of a city in America or a town, I can find out when, like, the history of the black community in that city, or when they came there, like LA, they came at a certain time, or certain places they came at a certain time from certain places. And then what happened socially, like what was happening with the police, with the government, with them, yeah? What music they made, you can find out why the Bloods and the Crips are the way they are, and why LA people dress like that, why their music sounds like that, because probably, you know what I mean, their music sounds different from New York because New York's got the close buildings and they've got the palm trees, so it's, you know what I mean, there's reasons why people are the way they are.
Yeah, no, of course, 100%.
So we don't actually break down the reasons why we are the way we are.
What are you talking about in the UK?
Yes, so if I talk about, I'm in group chats of enough like people from around the world, and we talk about different stuff. So I got a DJ, like a chat with enough, like say more American DJs on there, yeah? So if I ask them, if I give them a date, like 1975, what would your dad be wearing and driving? Just a guess, and you can make it up. They'll know what kind of clothes he was wearing, what kind of music he was listening to, what kind of car he was driving, and how he kind of talked. They wasn't even born yet, but they'll know that from different stuff that they've seen and whatnot. Yeah. And so their past has been made up. They can see how they was before the generation and before the generation. we don't connect with that so much. See the Rude Boy era, my dad's era, the Smiley culture, Tipper Irie, Maxi Priest and that kind of era. That's a very important era for the UK.
The 80s you're talking about.
Yeah. That 80s Rude Boy era where the toasting, like, we were like the first, we were the first MCs to do the double time fast rap. Before Jamaicans or Americans. Yeah? We were the first to do that. And not talking grime. We done it in the 80s.
Yeah, no, of course.
Me black, me blonde, me brown, me black, me in the chest, me black. Yeah, we were doing that.
Yeah, of course.
But we don't know. We got that history. There's things that we invented that we don't know. There's parts of neo soul with Soul to Soul and Omar and certain artists, that came and put certain things in the atmosphere.
Yeah, no, of course.
That we don't know. We can't even give ourselves the historical props. You know what I'm saying? And we need to actually know our history and learn it ourselves. I'm finding out things all the time, so I'm on a search to actually get the jigsaw puzzle of UK Black history. You know what I mean? Recent UK Black history from, say, the 50s till now. Not just on a music level, entertainment level, on a social level, on a political level. What was happening to us? What kind of laws affected us in these times? Because if we start looking at ourselves like that, then when we look at ourselves now, we can see what kind of position we're in and think to ourselves in that same way. What kind of laws are affecting us now? You know what I'm saying? When you kind of see the jigsaw puzzle and the history of yourself, it kind of gives you more of a scope for the future. It gives you more of a foundation and more of an identity. So that's what I want to give to. Nothing to do with music or anything, just in different content.
Yeah.
Whether I'm in it, whether I'm rapping, whether I'm behind the scenes or anything, I'm gonna create things that gonna give
you just want to enlighten
people in the UK a stronger identity,
knowledge of self,
more knowledge of self and history. Yeah, that's dope. That's my
Because some people don't know that, so they might need a help or a kickstart. So you might help them on that journey. So yeah, that's a big thing, bro, man, 1,000,000%. But you've worked with a lot of artists, in the UK. What's been your biggest feature, do you think?
My biggest feature, it has to be the Mark Ronson thing to a certain degree, but still, I've done a feature for Professor Green, a song called Jungle. So he done a remix with me. So it's him, Maverick Saber, and he done a remix with me and Wretch 32.
And Sway, innit?
And me, Wretch 32 and Sway. Yeah. So that there, I did like that feature, and I was, every time Professor Green was doing certain shows in Birmingham or near Birmingham or whatever, you know what I mean?
You ain't just
I'll come up and I'll perform that with him on the show.
You ain't just worked with like your kind of generation as well. You've worked with like my generation. You've got tracks with even like newer. You've got tracks with like Gigs.
Yeah.
The 30 rounds. And like with Margs and Coke, you got tracks with. So what was it like?
The good thing is coming out early and planting some roots. I can't, like, when I did come back in the game like 2010, there's people that heard me from when they were coming up and perfecting their style or wanting to get into rap. That respected me and respected my pen. And so for me coming back, it was. They just reached out. So I have to big up Wiley actually. Around the time we done One Day, Wiley was in Brom for about...
Was you in One Day?
Well, I was on tour with the Mark Ronson tour at the time.
Yeah.
But I do music through it, so I'm rapping from the grave. I play El Presidente.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm the leader.
I'd have to watch it back to see. I can't remember you in it though, but yeah.
So I'm the dead homie that set up the thing. So when I'm when they're playing they're playing the song El Presidente's song from the grave. That's me rapping. And then like I got pictures in there and stuff like that. So I just worked on the music and the things like that.
Yeah, that's dope still, man.
But them man's from I came back into the game, certain artists that were probably inspired by me or were just respecting my pen. The K Cokes, the Margs, the Wileys, whatnot. Ra just reached out, the Professor Green, and they kind of just reached out and like sent me certain tunes to you know what I mean.
So what advice would you have for any up and coming artists trying to be a rapper and come out, or just be an artist in general?
I would say find out like what you want to say, like what you want to be, like your image, like how you see yourself. Like round that off, and then so that could be either your look, your sound, all of that kind of stuff, like the feel of your music or whatever, and then kind of relentlessly push that and be smart with the people you work with. Be a smart artist. So there's some rappers that are smart and there's some rappers that are extremely talented. Like you could be extremely talented, but you need some smarts. Like the beat you pick is the smart. The feature you have, like picking that right feature at the right time, and or deciding to work with a producer, a certain producer. Like those things are important decisions. So be relentless in being who you are, and just go forward, and don't no regrets. Because if there's certain things that there's not gonna be too much tracks that you've done that you're gonna say, I regret doing that. There's gonna be more things you regret not doing, or something, I should have done that feature. Every artist has got a couple of features that they should have done, but some reason they didn't. So just be smart in your decisions, and just think about yourself in like 5 years' time of if you pushed your sound and pushed it and carried on, how would you see yourself? How do you see yourself? And kind of keep that in mind.
Leads me on to my next question. Where would you like to see yourself in 5 years' time?
Oh, definitely executive producer of content, whether it's documentaries, short movies, or anything to do with displaying UK culture. I'm going away for I'm going to go away for a bit. So when this... Well, I can probably fly. I can fly to certain places now. I can't go Canada because they're acting like knobs with the COVID thing. But like, there's still a few companies I speak to. Like, I've had little conversations with like a Revolt TV and certain things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's that major and it's that legendary that you should be speaking to these sort of people. That story has to be told, bro, man.
So it's not even to tell my story, but
your documentaries and stuff like that. The
so
ideas.
So. You have to think, in 2015 and 16, I went to South by Southwest and A3C, Texas, A3C in Atlanta. Not just to perform, but to be on the panel to speak about UK culture. And then the next time I went after that, I just went to speak and be a representative. Because I've got a good take on, because I'm not from London and grew up in a household of older people. Play into UK, Jamaican, and American music, and got drip fed a lot of stuff. I've got a certain take on the history of the UK that's kind of broad. So some people pick my brain for these things. I remember being at New School Rules where I was on the panel again with like Charlie Sloth and a few others speaking about UK like culture. And I remember there's a guy from, his name slips me now, but he runs the allhiphop.com. So he's always run that. I know
the site,
and I met his dad and son. If you see the face, you'll know him talk about. Interviewed lots of people. And he was there, and it's like, they was asking Mr. Play asking Mr. Play some questions, and it was just like, it just brought them to me. He just said, yo, speak to these and fill in certain gaps. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just that take I've seen everything as broad, not just, this artist, but everything that was going on at the time, like a 3D puzzle. That's how we have to look at our scene and our history.
That's how I saw it still. Yeah, no, of course.
So, because people have come to me and said, yo, speak to this person, they want to know about this. If I know about the subject, I don't know about everything, you know what I'm saying? But if I do, people would advise me and put me to people to speak to. So that's why I'm speaking to the revolts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because people need somebody in these rooms that know about UK culture.
Yeah, no, 1,000,000%, definitely. And the people in the rooms at the moment, they don't really know about UK culture.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We need people that speak for us, and you know what I'm saying? Not everybody speaks for people that's coming from the place we're coming from, man. So, what's your best and worst musical experience?
My best and worst musical experience.
Yeah, just being in the game industry, whatever.
Probably my best experience. One of my best experiences, probably when I performed in A3C Festival.
Where's that?
In Atlanta.
Okay.
And I picked certain tracks, and I speak clear when I rap anyway.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
And to get the same reaction of 90% of the bars. You know what I'm saying? To get the same reaction of 90% of the bars. That felt like I can my shit's transferable. That was a big
It's transparent, like to everybody.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
On a global, like on a world thing.
Yeah, from you can understand English, you can understand what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, of course. What about the worst?
The worst. Oh, I'm gonna say it. One time we was at a drum and bass thing, yeah, and then they like booked us to do a song at a drum and bass thing.
Where was it?
It was in Brom, and it was like big drum and bass dance. Everybody's peeled off their face, like 2:30 in the morning. So we come, and as soon as the hip hop starts, no matter what tune we playing, it was just like the floor cleared.
Yeah, no, that's
But then big up Jawar, because he was like, he had a drum and bass beat. He was like, yo, let's rap on one drum. It's like he picked one drum and bass tune, a certain tune, and he goes, let's rap on this for the second tune. We put on that, and then people came back to the dance floor, and then we just, after that tune, was like, yo, just spin your thing. And then it was all, we kind of cleared it up, but...
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Rapping and drum and bass, that's not going to work at all, man.
Not in the end, not in 2:00 in the morning, when you've been playing drum and bass all the time.
Yeah.
And people are there with their jaws just hanging off. That didn't work for us.
They never came to really taking bars, though. They came to party when they're at them sort of places.
Exactly.
There, man. So who's your top 5 US?
Top 5 US...
rappers.
All right, I'm going to say this in stages. All right. So my first set of top rappers, like the first people are like, these are gods when it comes to rap. Like, when I first heard Big Daddy Kane, Cool G rap, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G rap, Ice Cube. Ice Cube was my first favourite rapper. Yeah. No, actually, LL Cool J was my first favourite rapper as a kid. Yeah. That's the first album, Badder and Deffer, was the first album I've ever listened to front to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first album I listened to, hip-hop album I listened to back and back. Probably like 6, 7 or something like that. And yeah, so it was Ice Cube, Big Daddy Kane, and this is as a child, like before, like 10 years old. I had a top 5 at 10. And it was like Ice Cube, Big Daddy Kane. He actually wasn't KRS-One. Ice Cube, Big Daddy Kane. He wasn't there yet. I think Slick Rick. I'm just leaving it like that for now. They were my main. They were like my main 3 as a kid. Yeah. I was just yeah. And yeah, I had the Rakim album. So from I had that album, he was there. There was somebody else. Yeah, Cool G rap. Yeah, that was
you
it.
said him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it stops. Yeah.
There's others, and I would say LL Cool J. I have to, because he was the first. He was the first artist the first album I listened to front to back.
Mm. And what about in the UK?
In the UK, I would start with. I would have to say, I can't even say a top 5. I have to put Wretch in there because he's my favorite, one of my favorite spitters from the UK. I would start with Wretch. This is bad that I'm saying grime, guys, but Gets. And here's the thing: Wretch and Gets are like, there's certain artists like I like in states that or wherever that I might not listen to their music a lot. Like I don't listen to Wretch and Gets a lot. I listen to other artists more. But the respect for their pen, puts them there.
1,000,000%, man. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, you ain't said nothing bad.
Yeah. So
Wretch, Gets.
But this is just this can just change. Cause at one time Giggs would be the first name I would say. At one time K. Cole could be the first name I would say.
That could be 4.
Yeah.
And then you got one more.
Which is just techie. I would say myself. Nah, I can't even put myself in there. I would be like
Give it to one of these new ones, these young ones.
So but I'm only putting a certain
you're doing it in stages in times and stuff like that. Yeah,
stages.
I'm going overall, man. Like overall. Because remember, Pele and these people come on the football pitch at 16 and these things there.
Yeah, true.
And they were doing these things against big men, so it doesn't matter about your age. If you're picking up the pen.
That means Dave has to definitely be in there.
Yeah.
Dave has to be in there. Preacher from CLV has to be in there. For mixing yard style and rap.
Yeah.
Hands down the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down the best. For mixing yard style, like man would say kuf kwe in a bar. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, now Preacher's my man, man. It is 110. Yeah.
But I've just had times where I'm into different people. I've been times where I'm into A-Star.
You're just a lover of the game. You're the culture.
I'm just a lover of the culture. Yeah. So I've been into everybody. I was the biggest G-Unit fan. I was the biggest Dipset fan. I was the biggest Death Row fan. There was the rock, like I'm just a fan of the game. Not everything I'm into.
Not everything, but
I'm a big fan of the game. Like everybody's high moments from you coming out with good music and good lyrics. I'm taking that in. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all about the time. So if you ask me at a certain month, like if Fredo just dropped a freestyle that was sick, his name could be mentioned in something. If he just dropped one and that's fresh in my head. So it's just about what's fresh in my head, because you could do this the next week and I could say totally different names.
Different lists,
depending on certain stuff. So when it gets to a certain age, it's like Nas. For States, it's like Nas, Jay. It wasn't always so much Pac, but I'll always I liked Pac for his spirit. And people like Beanie Siegel.
Beanie's my man.
You know what I'm saying? I was a big Beanie Siegel fan. And Scarface. Yeah, so that's another. That's just another period of time.
I know what you're on.
So yeah, I could mention 50. I could mention 50 rappers at the end of the day.
So what are you doing now for yourself? And as you said, we're gonna get new music soon next year. So what have you been doing with yourself now? Any business ventures, or it's just been the documentaries, or just work?
No, that's my kind of business ventures. But I've been working with about St. Giles, yeah. So I've been working with St. Giles Trust. They're a charity, and they basically work with ex-offenders, you know what I'm saying? But more serious ex-offenders, you know what I'm saying? And people who have a certain kind of insight and a certain kind of people who is fully been through
the system.
Been through the system. and we go into different schools, colleges, like young offenders, whatnot, schools, whatnot. And we'll have them for an hour and a half, and we'll give them the real.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about stuff that nobody talks about.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We talk about the stuff that older people talk about, the obvious stuff, but no, like them little nuances, that little stuff. Like, yo, when you're a teenager and you get butterflies in your stomach, like, that could mean a thing, because all of us, we've felt that and been arrested and been stabbed and this and that's happened. Like,
1,000,000%, yeah.
That's just an off-the-cuff statement, I'm just saying, but just little things like that. Like, because we'll sit down as adults and talk about our teenage years in a different way, from a different perspective, because I can remember things from, all right then, you can remember something one way, you know, and somebody else around you could look at it totally different.
Yeah, no, of course.
So it's a thing where you could be like, yo, you was the man and you was doing this and that. I'm around you and I was like, yo, you're messing up, and these two couple men are robbing you, and certain men are kind of taking the piss, but you're not even seeing it. You know what I mean? So it's because we talk to each other like that, and we kind of break down the walls of reality. You know what I mean? And fantasy. Even when we talk to youths about music and me being a rapper, I tell them about fantasy and reality when it comes to rap. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you see yourself as, a fantasy rapper or reality?
Oh, reality. But there's a side to me that's punchliney.
Punchliney as well.
So there's two types of kind of rappers, or two types of lanes. There's one where you're rapping about a lifestyle. And there's ones where you rap where things are more taken off the cuff, where it's seen as, it's more seen as punchlines and things like that. Where, for me, I've never really rapped out bossing gun and things like that. But there's kind of punchliney bars like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, of course.
But it's not directed in a...
Definitely.
It's not directed in a lifestyle way where, I'm carrying my thing, and if I see a certain man, I'm bucking at him. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't... You know what I'm saying? So, that's there's people who talk like that, and it's fantasy. Yeah. It's straight fantasy. Or, I tell you, it's like, a man could have lived like this for 2 years of his life, or less, or 6 months of his life. And that adrenaline that he got, because the adrenaline of doing certain crimes and doing certain robberies and whatnot used to fuel my certain raps and certain bars. You know what I'm saying? And even when I stopped doing that, that feeling can still fuel the bar going up forever.
Yeah, no, of course, definitely.
So we tell them like, yo, some people probably was around it, some people not even involved, but even the ones that was, it's a period of time. It's a window of their life, and just one perspective of it that they're telling you about. Because I'll be going into youth prisons, secure units, and I'll be working. So sometimes they'll hire me to go in places like that and speak to youths. So I speak to a youth for South Family with him for like 3 hours. First hour we talking, and we like talking. So what happened with you? Talking his court date, is this and that, and how much he got sent, everything like that. So I'll be like, all right then. We break it down, be like, all right. So what was your mum's expression on your mum's face like when that happened? Oh yeah, this and that. What about your brother and sister? How did they feel? What they like when you speak to them on the phone, or all of those little things. Yeah, and then after that hour, we pick a beat, and then he's writing a rap, and he has to he talk about the facts. Talk about what he wants to say, but see his regrets. See how he really feels inside. That has to be in the tune. His mum's expression, or so if he's like, and the way my mum cried when they said, 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Said the way my mum screamed out. It's like, that has to be. You have to turn that into a bar. So I say you have to give me the actual real how you felt, not the.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear still. That's what
So-
I want to hear still.
So, like, that's the kind of that is the fantasy versus reality. Because if I made him write about it on his own, it would have had the braggadocious thing, and you know what I mean. He can't show no weaknesses or no
That's
vulnerabilities.
the part you said. That's what's the reality. That's what touches, because other people's been through that same experience.
And other people wouldn't go through something because of it. So that's why I don't like when in the UK when man do the Snapchat in jail, flexing their cupboards. You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
there's nothing to flex about. Man's in jail, so
you get what I mean.
long,
And it's like that's 30 seconds of the day.
Yeah.
And you've got 24 hours in that in that day. That's what we tell them. Like you've probably seen that. That's 30 seconds. Like they ain't telling you about all the mental health in there. They ain't telling you how many people a year that somebody has to come and cut down. You know what I'm saying? They're not telling you about none of that kind of stuff. Like I'm like, yo, you can do a little time. I'm like, and I'm talking to youths. I'm like, they're not like us. They're not built like us as well. I'm like, if you go into certain situation, put yourself around certain stuff, you'll see how real it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
no,
it's not
definitely.
even just you can come out of it, but there's certain things that you can see that don't leave you, or certain things that can happen to you, physical injury that won't leave you, and you can only be in the streets a certain little time, and something can happen that can, you know what I mean? So
it's detrimental. Yeah, of course. But yeah, I'm gonna give you a quick fire round before we wrap this up.
man, did this thing.
Yeah. So what? Brum or London?
Brum, I'm gonna have to say
See if you
Brum.
keep it real.
I have to say Brum because we've got like we've got like a strong Jamaican community. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You don't feel that there's a strong one in London?
What's that? Nah, there's a strong one in London, but we've got one of the strongest.
Definitely, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I remember this, bro. I seen a meme here with a sheep running on Lizell's Road, and I'll never forget, buying a draw for man on Lizell's Road, and there's chickens running between our feet. You know what I'm saying? Got there just slaughtering up on the ends.
All right, Brum. You go with Brum hometown. So what, by any means, Malcolm X or Martin, I have a dream. What kind of guy are you?
Malik.
Yeah?
Malik El Shabazz.
So you by any means?
Yes.
Okay. So what, chilling with a book or Netflix and chill?
I wouldn't say a Netflix, more, I don't really like Netflix, but a book's better, but I could go documentary or like a good HBO or Hulu show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rave or house party?
House party.
Fast car or fast bike?
Fast bike.
Love or trust?
Trust.
Yeah, that's it, bro, man. Yeah. Nah, it's good to have you down, bro, man. I appreciate you for coming down, definitely.
Is there
bro,
anything
man.
that, anything you wanted to know, though, differently?
In what sense?
Whatever.
You got to tell me. This is a free smoke,
Yeah,
bro.
okay,
You got to
say
tell
that.
me. Is there anything you want to tell the people?
I was speaking to my boy July yesterday. Yeah,
big him up.
And basically, this is something that come up. I shouldn't even say this. So basically, I remember somebody asked me, and there's a song that we called Status on our first album. It's not even on the album. It was a part of the end of the video to Art of Survival. Yeah. And it was on the single, but it wasn't on the album, yeah? The tune we done.
Club Journal or something like that.
Yeah. And there was some commotional talking in the start. And somebody was trying to ask us where that's from. And that was actually from, we're going to cut this out, actually.
Where's it from?
When you kind of informed on one of the random, and then man had it tied up. So there's like only 4 people in the room and that person. And that's him screaming. Screaming. And then we put it on the track.
Yeah.
But because only the people in the room know what happened.
Know what happened, yeah. Now we know what happened, man. Yeah, that's nuts. We're going to check out that intro again and listen and see what
I
went
don't
on.
even think it's on YouTube. So it's only on vinyl.
Okay.
If you bought the vinyl.
The vinyl with coffee.
There's a script, So You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
some real shit, man. Definitely.
But
man.
when I think of what man's was young them times. Man was just doing all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's how it was, man. That's how it was, man.
But that's how real it was. Where man's football. Yeah, let's put the. And it was more just to intimidate him. So when he hears the tune, you know what I'm saying?
He knows.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
So it wasn't a thing to publicise like that.
Yeah, it's out there. But yeah, big up my bro for coming, man.
Every time, my
Seriously,
brother.
love and appreciation. And yeah, if you don't know about Malik from MD7, go and check him out. You know what I'm saying? Look at his music. You know what I'm saying? Follow him on the gram. Follow him on the. You on Spotify? You got music on Spotify and Apple Music. And
Yeah,
stuff.
man. The more stuff's on there. There's music coming out this year. You're gonna see more from me. And basically big up the whole of Brum, big up all the artists I worked with, big up all everybody I didn't even mention that I forgot to mention. But yeah,
big them up, man.
Big up the man them. I just want to give a couple of shout outs.
Yeah, big them up, bro.
Yeah. First of all, big up my boy Preacher from COV, big up the rest of COV. Yeah.
Big bro.
Big up my man them, Maurice 7, Jawar and Cypher, and the whole camp, yeah. And yeah, so right now, Cypher's got a building called the Legacy Centre.
Okay.
That was the old drum in Birmingham where we used to perform, where we had our first video premiered. So Cypher owns that building.
He owns the building.
And he does the Black Pound Day. Sway comes down, Swiss comes down to do the Black Pound Day. There's lots of events, concerts there. You know what I'm saying? It's a big hub in the community. It's like the biggest black enterprise place in Europe. Yeah.
No,
and
big
that's
him
in
up,
Birmingham,
definitely, man.
run by Cypher. We got Black Diamonds Inc. That's run by Jawar. That's
he does tattoos and stuff as well, isn't it? Yeah.
He's done big tattoos like most of the Birmingham artists, most of the grime artists have all got tattoos. I mean, most of the road man have got tattoos.
I was watching
from
that.
And
the
you know
one
who's
day,
got tattoos
the one
from
day thing you was talking about, not the actual movie, but you know when they was trying to squash the real beef, and he's in the documentary doing the tattoos.
You know Wiley's tattoo on his neck?
Yeah.
That was...
Okay.
Yeah. So he's done a lot of he's done Margs, he's Mashtown. He's done the M of Margs, he's Mashtown.
That's big, man.
So big up everybody in Birmingham that's moving. R.I.P. Major. Big up all the new up and coming acts, and just the whole of the UK scene, man. I love to see what these men are doing.
No, definitely facts, bro, man. Seriously, and we love what you brought to the game, bro. You can't forget that. That's what this is about. So it's nothing to give you your flowers and
respect,
and you know
brother.
what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the best lyricists I've heard in the UK, point blank, period. Fuck the accent, fuck coming from Birmingham, like Malik is dope, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, and that's just another episode wrapped up of Free Smoke, Free Smoke, Free Smoke.
Tell him I'm straight, I'm talking things. Tell him I'm straight, we talking things on things on things on things. With my bands, don't need me friends. Can't see no lands. Yeah, bitch, we screaming out. Free Smoke, we giving out.